Hello everyone, and welcome back to the OSU World Cup 2020. We are here on the final Saturday evening of November to bring you the winners bracket final of this year's tournament. Matchup between two teams who, despite their geographic proximity, have never played before in the World Cup. You have the number one seed, the overwhelming tournament favorites to complete a three-peat in the United States, facing off against the number two seed Canada, a team that has emerged as a true contender this year. Both these teams underwent some pretty massive roster changes prior to this year's tournament, swapping out 4 members apiece. I believe the United States have shown a chance to continue some unprecedented levels of dominance in OSU standard. Meanwhile, Canada on their side, making their first ever appearance in the finals, guaranteeing themselves their first ever OWC badges. I'm this one guy. For this match, I'll be joined tonight by Chillier. Pear, how are you doing tonight, Chillier?
Good evening. It's great to be back. It's great to be here for another weekend of amazing gameplay between teams. We had some very exciting matches earlier today with the previous matchups in the losers bracket. We now transition over finally to the winners bracket finals. This is the match that will decide the team that will be our winners bracket grand final placists, I guess, and the guaranteed second place of the winner of this match. The loser will go down and fight again to come back up to the winners bracket and duke it out in the grand finals next weekend. But Canada versus the United States, the all-NA matchup, this is going to be a tough one to call.
Yeah, you know, these teams have both looked really dominant over the course of the tournament so far. They're obviously, as we said, the number one and the number two seeds, which means they had the best results in the qualifiers stage. They have looked pretty unstoppable in all of their matches. We saw the United States last week with that clean sweep 6-0 over Germany. Canada with a resounding 6-3 victory over the team Japan. Both looking very good in a variety of skill sets. I think the United States, trending a kind of different direction in their picks and bans than Canada. So I think stylistically, this is a very interesting matchup. It's going to be very fascinating to me, especially to see how these teams come in terms of strategy. What they'll look to ban and pick, I think, will play a big role in this match, because the United States has been a team unafraid to use an entire map pool. They'll play the mechanics stuff, but they'll also play the gimmicks. Canada, for their part, has been really good at speed, really good at aim, really good at streams, what we like to refer to as those mechanics maps. So I think it presents us with a very fun matchup on paper, that between two teams that neither of them will be skill capped. These are all players who will be able to perform well in this pool. Of course, the United States, that extra star power, guys like Vaxei, guys like I'm a Fancy Lad. But Canada, no slouch. I mean, they've got RyuK, they've got Azer, they've got tournament stalwarts, but they've also got some new players who have been doing very, very well this year, like Rupertion, like Nick1324, these are just two teams that match up so well against each other. I can't wait to get into it.
This is going to be the matchup of the weekend in my mind. I know we had a very exciting match earlier between Brazil and Japan that went to tiebreaker. That'll be tough to beat in terms of excitement there, but we do have two teams here that can certainly put up the performances that will keep us on the edge of our seats. I think, you look at both of these teams here in the United States, I would love to be able to pick out like a select few players, I think, that have been performing really well for the United States this year, and I think it's just insanely hard to do that with the United States. Everyone has been playing so well this year. They've been working together as a team, and everything has just gone well for them, even in the hardest matches that they've had to play in this tournament against teams like Germany and Brazil, two very strong teams, and they have prevailed very, very strongly through all of it. And team, Canada here on the right side of your screen, a team that has yet to badge or receive a badge from any OS World Cup in history, finally getting their chance right now in this second place guaranteed matchup here. They're already guaranteed top 3, and they've had a couple of players this year that have really stepped up to the plate. They made a decent amount of roster changes from last year, And surprisingly enough, 2 of their roster changes, the new additions, are actually some of the best performing players. You know, you mentioned players like Rupertion and xootynator, who have been absolutely stepping up to the plate as the new players, along with the tried and true roster remaining from previous years. Here you also have Nick 1324 being added, so a lot of good stuff for both of these teams.
Yeah, and already getting into the bans, I think we're seeing kind of the result of some of those team changes. You've got guys like Fancy Lad who are really dominant on kind of those gimmick types of skill sets. So Canada choosing to double ban out maps like that with Nomad 4, the tech pick in the Nomad pool, Hidden 3, that kind of awkward rhythm reading pick in the Hidden pool, removed out by Canada. Meanwhile, the United States, as expected, those new players from Canada, very good at double time, very good at mechanic stuff. United States choosing to ban out Double Time 2, Demystify Feast, choosing to ban out Osanadachi, the Nomad ones. They're getting rid of some of that aim, getting rid of some of that raw speed. So you're already seeing, even just in the ban phase, the impact of having those new players in who are so good at those skill sets. The United States, you know, saying, hey, we respect your guys' ability to play these maps. And Canada, likewise, you know, trying to say, hey, we know you guys are going to try and pick these types of maps, so we're going to take them away from you. I think, you know, we're going to, like I said, we're going to see, I think, a little bit of similarity between this match and their matches last week, respectively, where the United States is going to use just that ridiculous skill cap on players like Vaxei and Fancy Lad to try and play those more difficult skill cap types of maps. Canada, meanwhile, gonna go into some more of the mechanics with you know, guys like Rupertion just ridiculously good on streams, and Nick doing very well on some of the DT picks. And of course, the previous members, right? You've got RyuK, you've got trevrasher, very good at speed, been doing very well on DTs. So a lot of players with a lot of skill sets, and getting into this one quickly here. United States going with the Hard Rock 1 first pick, a little bit surprising there to me. How do you feel about that?
You know, Hard Rock is something that the United States has shown just absolute dominance on.
Both these teams have just looked really consistent. Their performance has been so good in all of their matches previously. So I think everyone is here and just ready to go. You know, they'll be practiced, they'll be prepped, they'll have their rosters set, and they're going to be into the first map. So we are going to get quickly underway here. United States, Canada, BTMC, Fiery, Vaxei, kablaze, taking on Zooty, Trev, Rupertion, and RyuK. Map number 1, Hard Rock number 1. First map here of the winners bracket finals. I think this is just a toss-up. Any map like this feels like a lot of players have the ability to just pop off on it, so we're going to have to see here who can just perform the best coming right out of the gate.
We have a couple of early breaks on the slow section here. You have Fiery Rage and trevrasher a little bit behind everyone else. There is an early break for Fiery Rage. This map is pretty long, so these early ones aren't going to matter as much. But, you know, as we progress through this map and we get into the key eyes, it's going to be all about who maintains that aim here. Canada's got a good accuracy lead. There was BTMC as well.
Yeah, this is always the type of map that, as Rupertion does find a break for Canada, it's always the type of map that, you know, if you are the United States, it's kind of the most losable because it requires you to just be super, super consistent on aim, which, if there's any one skill set that it feels like they've avoided picking a lot of the time, it does tend to be aim maps. But as we see a couple breaks coming in from Canada, that lead's going to come right back on over. trevrasher and Rupertion both with a couple misses, so Zooty and RyuK going to have to hold on. Zooty's struggling on the accuracy, though, down at 95%. That's going to help out the United States, bringing this gap back.
Score lead is definitely creeping over to the United States, just barely staying on Canada. Any team and any player that finds a miss right now is going to shift this over to the side here. You have Vaxei above 98%, kablaze not too far behind. Fieryrage and BTMC down on the combo, but higher than trevrasher and Rupertion. And with Rupertion breaking, that lead is going to go right over the United States here.
Yeah, these key eyes in the chorus is very easy to find breaks on those big aim sections. You have to be very comfortable with your aim on hard rock maps like this in order to avoid breaking. But the United States doing what they do best, you know, just putting together a combo while the other team finds a couple of inopportune breaks. However, you do see that there is still half of the map remaining. RyuK and xootynator still on the full combo, so this one not out of reach by any means as of yet.
They're definitely still in this. Canada's not too far behind in any amount of breaks from the United States. So there's Fiery, there's a start.
Oh, and there's BTMC, but there's also RyuK.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, and trevrasher goes as well. That's going to be really rough for Canada. All they have left is xootynator with the FC, Rupertion with a just under 400 combo. Meanwhile, the United States, to the surprise of no one, still has a double FC alive, kablaze and Vaxei, or maybe just shy of a double FC. I think kablaze missed right in the intro. into this little rhythmic section before some more jumps into the last TI, and I believe it's about all over at this point, unless something tragic happens to the USA in the last chorus.
The shake on kablaze on that stream was actually much more noticeable than what I've ever seen from her. So the nerves definitely taking effect in the finals match here, especially when you're FCing into this last quarter of the map here. Vaxei kind of doing what he does. Oh, breaks all over the board. Fieryrage, Vaxei, Rupertion, and trevrasher all breaking. So it looks like kablaze is actually going to be the one to carry this one in for the United States on map number 1 here. You know, I was actually kind of hanging around on her stream before the match started, and she was talking about how she didn't really feel like she was playing up to the highest ability today. And, you know, I'm not entirely sure that was true. This is 97.6%. Almost FC coming into the last couple jumps here for kablaze. Gonna bring it in for the United States against xootynator's FC for Canada. Look at that.
That's 2 very good plays from kablaze and xootynator. First time, I believe, ever we've seen 2 female players in the Standard World Cup Finals. I think that's pretty neat to see. And both coming out with near FCs on the first map. xootynator with the FC, kablaze the one miss early on. You love to see that. But little gender equity for the first time here in Osu. But you know, the United States just doing that thing they do, where they always have a couple more combos than their opponents, and it was not a big gap, but it was just enough for them to run away with in that ending. And yet, kablaze is one of those players that I think she tends toward the occasional bit of self-doubt, like you were talking about, but always manages to turn up in matches. We saw back during USC. When Ohio defeated South California. It's kind of a stream map, kind of an awkward rhythm map, kind of a reading map. There's a little bit of everything in that finger control department on this one. I don't know that Canada necessarily stacks up on this, but as you said, they do have players who can play just about anything in this pool pretty well. So we'll get to find out here. United States looking to defend the break point, though, and we know how good they are as frontrunners.
Definitely very good at that. You know, a lot of people have mentioned this year. The United States has definitely taken a little bit of a hit on gimmick map style. They made a lot of roster changes that favor mechanics and a lot of difficult skill sets, but I think the gimmick and kind of like the reading aspect of the United States has definitely taken a little bit of a drop from previous years. Losing players like Toy, Digital Hypno, and Tony have been a big difference for the United States, but it's really good to see that they are still able to put together a roster that rivals that high level of performance. You are going to see Vaxei with the first early break for the United States, so Canada is going to be able to take a little bit of a combo lead here, but the accuracy really helping the United States fieryrage on that double S still.
Oh, yeah. Well, not anymore, but I think, you know, I'm a Fancy Lad and kablaze are such big additions in that regard to this team because they're 2 players who are both very rhythmically gifted, just really good at keeping ACK up, really good at comboing difficult reading types of maps and awkward streams like this one. As you see the full combo reset for Canada coming in, the United States is going to try to take an early lead. One thing of note about this map that I think is a little bit interesting is that despite being a Nomad 6, it is over 4 minutes long, which is not something you're used to seeing in this sort of rhythm map slot in the pool. So it's going to bring in the consistency and stamina a little bit more, which is something that's not normally tested with this skill set. And we're going to get to see that aspect of these players a little bit more than we typically would on a map like this. And man, are these players making this look easy for the United States. Finally, kablaze brings in the second break, but 2 FCs and a big combo on Vaxei. Well, make that 1 FC and a big combo on Vaxei. I think Canada's got a shot at bringing this one back despite the break from trevrasher.
They have a shot here. It's going to be close. We're not quite at halfway yet. This map is over 4 minutes, so it's much longer than what players would expect, but I'm a Fancy Lad is kind of like the chief of maps like this. This is just what he is insanely good at, is these awkward, you know, gimmick and tech style-ish aim maps that are absolutely impossible for a ton of players in this community. So, you know, to see him, and especially with Vaxei backing him up on that massive combo as well, basically an FC, it is YummyinmyTummy trying to contend. There is a Vaxei break.
Yeah, that break is not great. It's in a bad spot in the map, but fortunately for the United States, got a little bit of a cushion to play with, plus Fancy Lad kablaze, both with big combos, so this is one where the scores kind of just increase very gradually because the map is so long and it is so combo dense. But like you said, man, Fancy Lad is just entrancing to watch on a pick like this. You watch his cursor control and his finger control, and it's just a thing of beauty. As he continues on his rampage here, the FC still intact. One of the only players, I think the only player at 97%. So big accuracy lead for him. as well as the combo advantage.
Yeah, this is a massive lead for the United States right now. Kablaze is starting to pull up a massive combo as well, almost at 900. Albeit the accuracy is not the highest, but the combo is going to make a big difference when there's a lot of players on both teams that can't really seem to hold a combo through the harder sections of this map. Namely, you have players like trevrasher and Stoof who, to be honest, are not like the front runners on maps like this in my mind. However, not doing that bad, honestly. Stoof putting up some impressive accuracy here in trevrasher comboing through the more difficult sections of the map, but Azer is really the only one standing between the United States
and he's gone.
And he's gone.
You hate to see it. This is the type of map where I feel like you end up with kind of third or fourth player syndrome, because the United States obviously has 4 players who are all able to play this quite comfortably, relatively speaking, considering it's a Finals Pool No Mod 6. Canada does not have that luxury. You can see all of the United States players at 390k or above. Meanwhile, Canada, trevrasher down at 250k, Stoof just over 300k. But man, just fancy lad. Just fancy lad. Like, I'm going to just point to him because that's all that's left in this one. The United States has a massive lead. If he FCs this, it is absolutely ridiculous, especially with over 97.5 AC. That is absurd on a map like this. He is absolutely having a grand time, and this is a performance to watch. He finally finds the slider break near the ending, but that was amazing from Fancy Lad. Wow, what a carry performance from him amongst a great team-wide play as well.
That was amazing from him. You had a lot of fantastic backing combos into the end there. Every combo that you see on the United States in that combo bar on the score page there was actually the combo they all had at the ending of the map. So they were 1,000+ combo on all 4 players for the United States there, and it was only YummyinmyTummy and Azer that were able to contend up there with that. Even then, the lowest score on the United States was fieryrage, I believe. I didn't quite catch Kablaze's score before she left.
I think though, I mean, this is a reasonable pick just based on if you're picking to your own strengths type of situation. Canada, I think, knows that they're very good at stream maps. Regardless of how good the United States is, they're not worried about that. I think the way to play against the United States, I think, is something like this, where you find your strengths and just pick to those and don't worry about what the other team is doing, because the United States is probably going to put up some 6 scores. But just say, this is our best pick, we're going to play it, and we're going to perform on it. And try to take the other team out of the equation, and don't look on the other side, because that's a problem that a lot of teams have against the USA. We talk about the mental debuff, Canada trying to make themselves immune to it, and with this being just a 2-minute long 200 BPM like pure stream aim test, it's easy enough. You miss one time and you end up missing 20 times, so anything can kind of happen on a map like this, and I guess we're going to get to find out here as we're already underway, and you can see what this map is going to be like from the very get-go.
I think this map is going to be very strong, and there's a lot of players you need to keep an eye out for right now. Nick1324 has been performing very, very well on these stream maps here. We've also mentioned Rupertion quite a bit. And then
there's that chain miss. Oh, Stoof, no!
Stoof!
And that's what happens on this map. The space streams. You miss once, and you miss 30 more times. He just missed an entire section of the stream, dropped his AC way down, lost about 90,000 points. That is what happens on a pick like this. If you miss one time, it's so easy to just fall completely off.
There's not really anything you can do about it either. Recovering is just a matter of when you're able to kind of pull yourself together again. And, Canada has a fantastic triple FC right now, but going up against the United States, running with 4, BTMC and Vaxei still on, they're doing the thing right now. You can't do too much about it, and that, as we mentioned, that one little slip up there.
And there goes Apraxia and BTMC, so the United States just did the same thing. They didn't miss as many times, but there goes that lead right away. Apraxia missing once again, and now Canada finds a break on Yummy, though. They're pulling away with that combo lead on Stoof, though.
Rupertion and Nick1324 versus only Rectagon on the FC right now. This is going very heavily in Canada's favor right now. Rupertion's accuracy is absolutely insane.
Yeah, this was kind of just the pick for Canada. I feel like this was like where they were going to get a win, and this is where they are going to get a win. They do get a point on the board with the No Mod 2. The 3-way miss from the United States just was not it, and you bring in the FC from Nick1324 and the very good plays from everyone. That is a point. The first point the United States has lost in the finals in 2 years now, as they did win, of course, 7-0 last year. So Canada on the board. You love to see it.
That was a really good pick and performance from Canada overall right there. Rupertion not quite being able to hold the FC into the ending, but Nick1324 was able to, and a good two-way performance from Canada to shut the United States down there. YummyinmyTummy and Stoof, nothing to scoff at as well. Unfortunately, Stoof's placement of his breaks were less than optimal, so the score is a little bit lower there, but
I think I agree with the Canada Nomad 2 pick. I also agree with the United States Hidden 1 pick, and I'll just go with that.
yeah, that's I'd say that's very fair, and I'm gonna continue my trend of picking out the players I think we should keep an eye out for on this map. You got kablaze and Aireu on the top row there for the United States. I think the two of them are going to be big performers on here. Although Fancy Lad and Vaxei are known for being amazing on these awkward style aim maps here. And of course, xootynator, I think the resident hidden mechanics player for Team Canada here is going to be one that we have to keep an eye out for as well. But both teams doing well at the beginning here. A little bit of combo behind on xootynator from something early, but negligible with the accuracy difference between the two countries right now. But Azer,
there's a break from Azer, but this map is another one that's very, very long. It's 3.5 minutes, and it's really unrelenting. I mean, it's 194 BPM, which is well within, I think, these players' comfort zones, but it's something that still is going to drain a little bit after you play an entire map of it. And with such consistent difficulty as you see in this pick, in multiple ways. There's another break from Canada on the part of Rupertion, followed by Zooty, down to just 1 FC now. Aireu, the only one to have broken for the United States. And just having to keep up this snap aim and finger control through these bursts. Vaxei, in fact, finding a break as well. That's a little surprising to me. But Fancy Like a Blaze still going off, and just RyuK for Canada, so the United States is going to feel alright for now.
Yeah, they're looking very comfortable on this. Rupertion found another break in xootynator, has no combo to be spoken for right now. You have a double FC for the United States right now on kablaze and Fancy Lad really bringing this in. xootynator's going to find another break. I think this is looking pretty down in the dumps for Canada right now, unfortunately. Vaxei does trade a breakout, but as long as these two FCs hold for the United States right now, they're going to be looking very comfortable here. kablaze does break, though, so that becomes a little bit more interesting now. There is a combo on the side of Canada, and as long as Azer and xootynator are able to build this up, this could get pretty interesting right here.
And Azer immediately breaks, and RyuK immediately breaks. You hate to see it. That was really unfortunate timing. Aireu finds a break right after, but Fancy Lad just keeping on. And like you said, I mean, Canada was absolutely in this, and they still have a chance. There's still plenty of map left, but that's a big combo deficit considering the trouble that Rupertion's been having. Now Azer and RyuK a bit behind as well. xootynator going to be their top combo for the moment. Fancy Lad, though, once again on the FC. You almost wonder, I mean, Fancy Lad is looking like the one that they're maybe picking around a little bit here. Best performer on the Nomad 6 so far, the best performer on the Hidden 3 as well. Vaxei with another break. I don't know if this is just not his map or what, but fortunately the United States is being buoyed by, I should say, Fancy Lad on this pick so far.
Definitely seems good for them.
And he finally breaks. But it's traded with the highest combo from Canada. There goes xootynator, and RyuK being matched by kablaze and then some. So United States is going to be in a fine spot here on their own pick.
Oh my goodness, what a play from Fancy Lad here. You know, people talk a lot about players like Vaxei in tournaments like this and how amazing he is, but you know, not always invincible. And to be perfectly honest, if you've been keeping up with any North American tournaments this year, Fancy Lad is technically the best player in North America according to the North America tournament results and his performances this year. So, you know, something to keep in mind for this match is 750k plus on Fancy Lad into the end of Hidden 1 here. Now that is a play. That accuracy.
That's another really good play from Fancy Lad, just breaking very near the ending. Not the best of scores from Vaxei or Aireu there, but more than enough with the troubles that Rupertion and Azer had on the Canada side. xootynator and RyuK putting up their higher scores, but that was, that map had the potential to be incredibly close with just a couple of luckier breaks for Canada. They were looking very strong on several of their combos there through that middle third of the map, but just kind of fell off a little bit right at the ending and allowed the United States to take it. I think they'll feel okay. I mean, they won their own pick and they made that reasonable. I mean, it was 426k, but like, it didn't feel that bad. somewhat similar in terms of the speed requirements. The United States won it, but it was really just on the back of the fact that they 4-way FC'd and Canada had 1 miss and 3 FCs. So, these two teams obviously showing how good they are. And this is, I think, arguably one of the easiest and most straightforward maps in the pool. It's really just about whether or not you can hit the bursts at 270 BPM. Other than that, not a whole lot to it. The aim requirement relatively minimal. So it's just about the speed, and we're going to get right into it in a speedy sort of fashion, as very appropriate. We'll see. I think we're going to get some FCs out of this one from both teams, and it's going to be one that comes down to maybe just a couple of breaks on a couple of players here and there.
Yeah, not too much to work with at the beginning here. The accuracy looking really good on RyuK. This is the type of thing that he's very, very good at, and he's going to be a big player for Canada on this map. We've seen Stoof really performing on the speed here, but it's going to come down to whoever finds the initial break here for either of these teams. Canada has it in terms of the accuracy right now, which, a lot of that is being done by RyuK and Stoof here. Trevrasher finally getting above that 97%. Vaxei really looking to
oh, but Trevrasher finds a break. That is an unfortunate timing, too. Just 1/3 of the way in. We'll see if the United States can run with that. And he was doing pretty well, too. Like you said, just got over that 97% accuracy mark, but now United States forces to 3. We'll see what they can do with that advantage. They have such a strong speed roster. Rectagon, Fancy, Vaxei, Apraxia, all looking very comfortable with this. Nobody over 99%, but it's proving to not matter so far as Trevrasher finds another break. Despite RyuK at 99.76, probably arguably the best speed player in the game, but Stoof with the break as well. Just 2 FCs now left for Canada. This is getting rough now. Not a lot to work with on that side. They need to hope the United States finds some misses.
They had so much going for them, and we're right at that halfway point right now, so there's a lot of scores that could be dropped. There goes Vaxei, actually the last player that anyone would have expected to break.
This is so unlike him. He's just not quite on it today. Fortunately, the United States so strong, it's not quite mattering yet. There goes Yummy, now just with RyuK left for Canada. The United States backing up Vaxei is not the phrase that I'm used to hearing or saying, but it is the case here so far. Just about a quarter of the map left, and they're in a pretty decent spot now for over a 400k lead. Just need to bring it on home.
United States as a team looking really good right now, but I do have to be perfectly honest, I do not care in the slightest. RyuK's accuracy right now is stunning, 99.35%. He was actually at 99.6 and dropped some accuracy there, but coming in to the last couple sections of this map, this is a fast map, so that accuracy is insanely impressive. The next closest right now is actually Vaxei, who's not even FCing. I'm a Fancy Lad and SWAGGYSWAGSTER are down on the combo. It's just Apraxia, but unfortunately not enough time left for Canada nearly into the end here. But a fantastic performance from the United States.
That was a sick play from RyuK, as you said.
That was
ended up with a little lower accuracy with dropping a few hundreds in that 50 near the end, but over 99%, ridiculous. Apraxia, though, matching him with the FC, despite the lower accuracy. Rectagon, just that slider break near the end, the next best, but yeah, the United States just team-wide just a little bit stronger. Stoof and Trevrasher having kind of unfortunate timing on their breaks. It was really unlucky where those breaks occurred because they lost a lot of score on that. Trev dropping all the way down to 600k, Stoof at 700k, but the United States, it's weird to see. I mean, Vaxei bottom scoring and ending up getting carried by Apraxia and Rectagon on that one. But if it works, it works. You'll take those if you're the USA. You don't care who carries as long as you win the point.
Even though it could be argued he's not having the best day, but that's I guess the whole point of a 4v4 team tournament is even if you're not having the best day, you hopefully have your teammates to back you up. And right now, the United States, no shortage of backing combos. Fancy Lad back in for the no
with the FC United States with an 800,000 point win. Hey guys, Vaxei is still here. He is still playing, and he is FCing the pick, and that is 5-1 now. Double consolidated breakpoint United States.
That is crazy from Vaxei there. Fancy lad with that accuracy as well, 99.48. Only the miss and slider break into the ending. And notably, fieryrage, 4 100s. Accuracy really only taking a hit because of the misses and slider breaks there. But everybody on the United States doing amazing on the accuracy. Even Aireu, who was just a little bit behind Fancy Lad and Vaxei, kind of being in the shadow, putting up that third top score. But a lot of them have been pretty contested so far. The United States, obviously a strong team for that, but Canada really giving them a run for their money, especially with, players like RyuK finding FCs on grand finals, DT3s, when nobody on the United States does. It's really just that overall team performance that's keeping the United States up on these DT picks here. So, as we get into the Mirage DT here, be looking for any of those players with that finger control to hold up here at the beginning.
Yeah, this is going to be so tricky on that finger control element. These guys have to be in such great concentration in order to play this properly. I think this is gotta be just a practice map, right? And remembering the length of all these bursts and the cursor control and aim requirement to hit them properly. Really looking pretty comfortable in the beginning though. No breaks the first couple hundred combos, so solid start. It's a long way to go though.
Yeah, there's nothing really super uncomfortable about this map. I mean, the BPM is fairly normal for most of the speedy DT players in this lobby, and at AR10 as well, there's not really anything that's gonna prove to be the standout difficulty besides that finger control. So it really is just about that. And there goes YummyinmyTummy.
And that was just, I think, a simple misaim, unfortunately, on one of those sliders. Not lucky, basically, and another break from a little bit of cursor control issue on a couple of those bursts. And those are going to bite him because that's, that kind of third of the way in. You don't want to find breaks there. United States still on the four-way, and Vaxei and Apraxia with some really good accuracy. Meanwhile, Stoof, 99.19, acquitting himself well despite the technical difficulty of this pick. Unfortunately, Canada going to find themselves a few hundred combo behind with that Yummy pair of misses. No, the misses themselves were not Yummy, but the misses were from Yummy.
The Yummy misses. All the joke here.
What are you going to do? I mean, the United States just holding on to this four-way. We'll see how long they can maintain it, but that lead is growing up over 130, just about 130,000 points now. Still a third of the map to go, though. Lots of time left.
Yeah, there's a good amount here, but, with that score lead growing pretty quickly in the favor of the United States right here, YummyinmyTummy has started to build up a combo as we get into some of these longer streams here, but nobody really struggling on them. It's really down to those misaims earlier from YummyinmyTummy. The accuracy is in the favor of the United States, though, so I'm not sure if it would have made a difference into the ending with the FCs. It would have been very close, especially with Stoof's accuracy, but nobody on the United States breaking. They're just so comfortable on this map.
There's just, about 250 combo left. I don't know if there's enough time. There's a break from RyuK. Apraxia finds a miss at the same time as well. But that was very fortunate for if Apraxia had been the only one to break. I don't know if there would have been enough time. It would have been very close, but not going to be any way for Canada to bring this one back, I don't think, now. Is it going to be a three-way from the USA? This is actually just going to be a three-way from the USA and a two-way from Canada?
This is really good from both of these teams here. Despite how the map looks compared to the other DT, this is a very very map.
Yeah, 4.2 million. 4.2 million three-way FC.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah. Grand
okay.
finals, by the way.
Finals pool three-way FC. And Vaxei with the top accuracy, showing back up after a couple of little difficult maps for him, maybe, but getting back in the swing of things as to normal for him. Apraxia, the only breaks for the United States, but yeah, I don't know. You three-way that, and your fourth player gets 867K. That's not too shabby. That's just United States things. And that is the 6-1. That is another break point, and that means we have quite a few match points for the USA. Any other team coming into OWC is playing a little bit for second place, and it's an unfortunate reality for, I think, a lot of players who are very, very competitive, but that's just what the USA does to people. They're so good on these ridiculously difficult late-round pools. And as you said, Canada has put up some very good scores, and as we get into Free Mod 3 here, they're still down 6-1. I mean, it's nothing against them. It's just how good the USA is. And we're now going to see the, I think, most difficult map in the pool, free mod 3, the Mazarin free mod. This is a Mazarin slider tech map, which is not something that you say or hear or see very often. It's going to be fieryrage on Hard Rock, Aireu on Hidden for the USA, running your normal top 2 players on no mod strat. And meanwhile, Canada, Hard Rock on Yummy and Hidden on Zooty, Zoop, and RyuK on the no mod plays. But this is a map where if you play Hard Rock, you are kind of tanking that mod for your team no matter what. And it is just about how the rest of the players do. As we see the first break coming out from fieryrage on that Hard Rock and from Stoof on no mod, in fact.
YummyinmyTummy is kind of beasting right now. That was some of the most insane slider pattern I've ever seen that he hit. You know, does finally find a break with the Hard Rock, unsurprisingly. But RyuK and xootynator.
It's a full reset. It's a full reset for Canada.
Oh, Stoof too. Oh.
It's Canada's gone. I'm sorry. This map. This is what happens. You play the United States and they pick the hardest map in the pool and they have 3 full combos through 500 combo in and fieryrage with just the 1 break. I mean, there is, I don't think, another team who can put on the type of performance that they can on maps like this that are at the absolute skill cap for so many people.
This is, you know, at a level of play, and not even just at a level of play, a level of consistency that so many players aspire to reach that play tournaments. And, you know, you are looking at a lobby of 2 or 3 players that have hit that level of play right now. We're not even going to mention the fact that Vaxei is almost at 98% accuracy right now. Even with the no mod, that is absolutely impressive. Stoof on the no mod at 96. You know, these mod players are the real MVPs of this match on both teams here. Any player that takes a mod on this map is just absolutely chatting this out, because this is a difficult map, and that's an understatement to say the least here. YummyinmyTummy and fieryrage, you know, despite the 230 Ks each with Hard Rock, that is an impressive score with Hard Rock. And whatever Vaxei is doing right now is, you know, despite what most may think, is not normal, in fact. This is insane.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny. I was talking to Apraxia before this match, and we were talking about this particular map, and he said that Vaxei actually, like, sight-read this map with Hidden and got something like 350k on it. That goes to show just how difficult this map is, that Vaxei comes in, sight reads it with that kind of score, and you know he's going to go into the match and actually play it with no mod anyway, because that's how the United States strats for these free mod picks. But the ridiculous skill level required to play this map confidently is just insane. And you can see Vaxei now pulling away from the crowd, 730k and going. Nobody else over 400,000 points on the Canada side, just Fancy Lad.
Oh, look at all
And he hits all that too. All right.
Look at all those breaks.
So I don't care what. Okay, I guess Vaxei having a bad day. Vaxei is no longer having a bad day, you guys. He might have been having a bad day for about 2 maps. That is long gone.
This is, you know, surprisingly, Vaxei is the only FC, and it's an amazing score, but Canada's got a lot of combo as a team at the ending. Unfortunately, it was too late. And Vaxei just kind of, he just came in and did whatever he had to do. This team was like, hey, we want to win this match. And Vaxei goes, I got you. And just FC's the map because we're on a finals pool and Vaxei can still FC stuff.
Yeah, I want to mention, when I first saw this map, my initial thought was whoever can get 2.2 million team score on this map wins it. And I think that was a pretty reasonable assessment. 2.13 million for the United States, and they win it pretty cleanly. And yeah, that's a 7-1 victory. I guess we neglected to mention that is kind of the match being over. But just too busy being hung up on how ridiculous that play was from Vaxei. My goodness, the FC out of him is just insane. And so for the third year running, yeah, the United States will be your first members of the Grand Finals matchup. They advance onward. They are now guaranteed a top 2 position. That is nowhere near good enough for them. You know they're going to come into that Grand Finals as prepared as ever. And that means Canada is going to drop down and await the winner of tomorrow's match in the losers bracket final. So, I don't know. What do you have to say about this match? The United States is just really good.